bodies now. Inside here, it may shock some people. It may make some people uncomfortable. But in the end, it is for educational purposes for you to see what people look like under this. Under their skin. Under their skin. And at the end of the day, it is for educational purposes, like I said. So don't be scared and don't be alarmed, and you don't have to watch this if you don't want to. Let's go inside. I don't mind. Welcome to the Human Bodies Exposition. Let's go inside.
Thank you.
Welcome again. Thank you. I'd like to get all jokes out of here because Ben had to go poop before we... Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Ben had to go poop before we came. Anyway, let's go see some dead bodies. If we have to put on lab coats. Maybe we don't. They give you a lab coat though.
In case you want one.
Go right here. Okay. I'd love to have her behind me. Okay, we're headed here. Now, this is something I told myself that I wasn't going to see. I'm not very comfortable with seeing glass-sized human beings in their dead form. So this is kind of a nerve-wracking experience for me. Ben, you can come behind the camera. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think it is very, very sort of grim because this lurking awareness behind all of this stuff is that this used to be a person, right? And that they had all kinds of hopes and dreams and potentials and failings and quibbles, and that they were like you and me.
Mm-hmm. For example, this is a baby's skull here.
Yeah.
Should we be using flash? Baby's skull. And this is, you can see bones in any museum.
This is true.
You can see bones in any museum, but this is the, you might say, the living dead. This is actually a human being with cartilage and basic fibrous muscle. And it's not comforting to look at. This is just a regular person. And it's different than a skeleton because there's some definition that you wouldn't be able to see from just only bones. The fingernails are intact, the nose cartilage, the ears, everything like this is intact. You can see from the back here. From the back here, you have the muscle connected and then the muscle removed on this skull up here.
See some plates where they come together.
Yeah. Also a hair. There's a little bit of hair still poking through.
I think that's this dust.
There's that dust up there.
Yeah. Hair follicles.
Thumbs up. He's happy to be here. Mm-hmm. Normal skeleton, as you can see here, and then one of the main events here is the sports pictures. They want to show people in action, so how their muscles would be flexing or how their muscles would be being used in certain athletic activities. So these are all the muscular layers. This is just a human being. Looks like he'd jump out at you. Or he'd be able to move. He's in motion. Some fat covering the stomach area. See that? The layer of fat is covering the muscles. Very lean fat. There's not that much fat though. He is a very fit man. Was. He's playing football. Eh?
have here is a dissected human head, split down the middle and sliced open to reveal the muscles and tendons
in the face.
Control facial expression.
So again, guys, these are real. This is a real human. This has not been treated other than dipped in plastic to preserve it. Let's go have a look at the basketball court. This one's a little different because the other one was cut. The other one was preserved like that. This one has been cut open on the side to reveal the intestinal area, so you can see the internal organs as well. See the lungs in there as well. He's playing basketball. Okay, here. This is interesting. This is a muscle all kind of coming off to show the layers of the structure of the muscles. So it's peeling off. It almost looks like he's running too fast.
Yeah.
Clay on top of this one. Some mounds of clay on the back of it. One thing that I find particularly disturbing is I watched on Vice Guide, I watched a documentary about a man who was a cannibal, and I imagined that when he was eating the leg meat, it was kind of like that. It's kind of disgusting. Shake it around a little bit there. Almost human muscles almost kind of look like pork.
The Japanese made a wine tasting robot that had these very finely tuned chemical sensors to detect flavors and tastes. And as the Japanese, of course, would, they fed their robot a little bit of human flesh. And the tasting robot replied that it was 80% horse meat, 15% pork, and some small smattering of other spices. Yes, cinnamon.
This is a brain covered by the stuff that you don't normally see. Actually, our brain is covered by that film.
Meniscus.
Yeah. Meninges.
Meninges. Not the meniscus. Yeah.
Look at their nose.
Every one of these specimens is Chinese, Vivi. I'm sorry.
Look at their nose bridge.
Every one of these specimens is Chinese. I saw them all being made.
No, tell me about the nose.
These
Chinese, Vivi. You want to ask them? Ask everyone. Ask them at the door. We'll ask them on the way out on the video. Okay, let's have this is really interesting. The brain only attached. It reminds me of like Doom or one of those early '90s 3D shooters when they'd have all these gross depictions of brains attached to spinal cords. This is the spinal cord without the bone, the cord that runs through the bone, and the eyeball is attached to it as well.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, isn't it strange? It's our entire life, consciousness, and everything we do is because of this network. It's almost like an electrical network. Series of wires. Brain's a lot smaller than I thought it'd be.
About the size of your two hands put together.
This could also be from a child.
Yeah, an adolescent.
Yeah. Highlighting the brain and spinal cord area. It's a very small man. Oh look, compare the size.
Yeah.
I'm much bigger than that man.
Yeah, he wasn't
Also,
very big.
Maybe an adolescent. Being in cool.
Mhm.
This is the nervous system. This is really interesting. This is the electrical network we were talking about in action. That's right. Why don't we go through and just pick the ones that we think are interesting?
Yeah.
Good. Fairly interesting here. If we can get a focus, these are all of the arteries and blood vessels of the entire human body. It just makes kind of like a shadow of a human being. It's our shape of the blood movement.
Alright, interesting little video here. We have normal lungs, fresh, pink, healthy, and we have a smoker's lungs, black, calcified, disgusting, and here in between we have people who reconsidered their habit.
I'm just doing quick ones. Good talk.
What we have here is a human body sliced in two, the middle removed. So this is the front part of the human face that we see and recognize. This fellow looks recognizable clearly as a human, easy to empathize with. This is a little more difficult to recognize as a human. The eye sockets retrieved overhead. Nasal cavities exposed here in the airway, in the back of the mouth, and the rear part of the tongue. And here, you see the spinal column, the rear part of the brain, and the vertebra extending down. In between these vertebrae would normally be bursa, flexible liquid sacs that cushion and support the individual bones. So what we have here are fetuses, human fetuses, in various stages of development. So this is 9 weeks, this is 11 weeks, 14, 24, this one is 32, it's full term.
It's full grown.
If that baby was born, it would have. These are only the bones.
No, that's the fetus.
No, those are only bones.
Oh, really? Cartilage. Oh, this is interesting. This is a pregnant one. Show the whole body, and then inside, you can see the baby. Sign to that one. And then over here is sign. So spinal bifida. A lot of people are born like that in America, actually, and keep them here because a conjoined fetus. Look at the conjoined at the belly here. 2 boys. Remember, folks, these are actual real babies. This ain't no plastic. This way they're looking like it.
What we have here is a human body stretched out. This is sort of the CT scan view. See here, beginning of the trunk. Yeah. Leg bones give way to the pelvis, gives way to the intestinal cavity. It's the spinal cord, 2 kidneys, liver, and the lungs, shoulders, and the head.
Last piece of the exhibit.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Our last piece of the exhibit is our sliced into many pieces man. Starting from the middle piece here. Very nice opportunity pieces. You can tell this man was a smoker by the color of his lungs. Look at that.
Yeah.
Actually, let's finish with this guy over here. He's trying from. I'd like to say a few words. Now, whether this exhibit promotes, here with my friend here, whether this exhibit promotes medical knowledge or not, I guess you could say it does. Absolutely, it goes through with very concise descriptions of every piece of the body and what they look like through actual real-life specimens. Now, it's up to you whether you believe that people should be preserved in this manner if they were not willing to do that, if nobody asked them before they died. But at the end of the day, this is still here, and by you providing money to an exhibit like this, it's really up to you whether you think that's a correct or moral decision or not. If you think it promotes medical discoveries and medical knowledge, maybe it helps people to decide to be children to become doctors. We don't know. But at the end of the day, it's here, and if it's here, then there's really no problem coming to see it. This is Lao86, and I hope you guys enjoy this very interesting and almost unsettling exhibit.
Well, we've reached the end of the exhibit here. It was, I don't know. There are a lot of thoughts going through my head. I think, on the one hand, it's a spectacle, right? And that's how it markets itself, is as a spectacle. It will shock you. It will entertain you. It will be vivid. It will be memorable, like this. And I think it was definitely that. It was a very different perspective on the human body, and I think there is a sense maybe where it's not healthy maybe to probe too far behind the covers. A really uncomfortable sensation that I was left with after this was that we're all just sort of made of meat, right? But then to get too lost in that, I think is incorrect, right? Because these people, they're not just biological machines, right? This guy here, he was a complete person with an internal world and a future and a past and a life just like you or me. And I think to think that he's now something of you could say it harshly, you could say he's a circus attraction. And it seems like inglorious way to end his life. But on the other hand, scientific progress depended on a lot of people looking at a lot of these very same things. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci, he did exactly the same thing, and the people he operated on, they did not choose that fate. They did not choose to be cut up and preserved in jars and poked at and prodded. They were criminals, or even some of them were homeless people, just people who were poor and swept off the street. And they wound up under his knife, some of them before they were even dead. So, yeah, I think this place is thought-provoking. It's definitely thought-provoking, whatever it is.
And we encourage you to go online and find out your own information about this. We can't provide you with anything. We are not experts at all, but we did come and pay the fee just to come and have a look. So you guys should go out there and look it up yourself, and maybe you can get some good descriptions and pictures, kind of like the things that we saw today. Good. Very nice.